What's up, fellow bench warmers? This is your daily Fantasy Quickie. Alright, guys, welcome to week 9. Are we in week 9?
Yes, we're in week 9.
We're in week 9. We're almost halfway into the fantasy season.
The regular season.
We're expecting around 20 weeks. We're doing the quickie on English this time around because we have some foreigner who are followers from other nationalities who wants to try and listen to our podcast. So we'll give them an episode wherein they can catch whatever we're talking about here in the podcast. All right. So Commissioner Eric, are you ready for today's quickie?
I'll try to speak in English. I'll try my best.
All right. So first in our storyline, Spurs and Charlotte players. We've been getting a lot of messages about Spurs wanting to drop Spurs players and some Hornets players. Particularly, most of those that are being asked is Jakob Poeltl, PJ Washington, Derrick White. Those are Keldon Johnson. We've got some Keldon Johnson.
Keldon Johnson, Derrick White, Miles Bridges. Yes. Those are the usual questions. So
who are those that you should be keeping and not dropping, and who are the players that you should be dropping?
First off, we don't know who infected who or what really happened, because Charlotte was the one who got COVID first with PJ Washington and the Martin twins. That was a time when they played Minnesota, and Karl Anthony Towns said that they should not play the game anymore because there's an outbreak there. But they still played the game. Then the next night they played San Antonio. Then after that, this happened. Mm-hmm. So we're not too sure who really got it first. But we know that there's 4 in San Antonio, 4 positive. And then we already know that Charlotte is out 3 players and possibly more. So right now, San Antonio's games will be canceled or postponed for this week. Charlotte, more or less 2 games, but possibly more. I would suggest to hold to the starters for both teams. I think you should hold for the starters for both teams, unless we get more information as to who is positive, because we don't know yet until now.
Yeah.
So for me, Rudy Gay, Patty Mills, let's say Miles Bridges, those are droppable players already. But
Cody
the others,
still...
Cody Zeller is borderline for me. I want to wait because they only canceled or postponed 2 games from Charlotte. So maybe they could play after 2 games. Then if you drop Zeller, you'll really regret it.
Yeah, you won't be able to get him back. That's the one of the rules here in our one of our rule of thumbs. If you want to drop someone who you are not sure if they are worth dropping, you should think if you should consider that if you drop them, would you still be able to get them later on? If not, then might as well wait a bit before dropping any players you are.
But you have to remember, there's a lot of postponed games. Dallas and Detroit is also postponed tomorrow for other reasons, for a storm or something.
Yeah, weather.
So it's gonna be a very, very turbulent week for fantasy owners. So maybe even if you don't drop those players, you can get the 3-6 or maybe even 4-5. And there's lots of injuries also. Yeah. So maybe just hold on a little bit.
Yeah,
that's
just
what I'm suggesting.
Look into your opponents as well. You might not notice, but their team might be ravaged by all these postponements as well, or maybe injuries. So at least that
they're depleted
out.
Also.
Yes, because if you drop players who are, fantasy relevant, particularly guys like Derrick White or even Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson will probably be for a 10-team borderline drop. But if you drop these types of players, again, you might not be able to get them back, and you might regret
On the other hand, if LaMarcus Aldridge, our favorite, is not positive, this is actually good news for him because
he will be able to rest.
Yes, without missing games. So that's actually good news for those who are suffering LaMarcus Aldridge.
I hope he's not positive because,
that's
he's
terrible.
Been playing bad, and then he's already playing bad, and then he'll be COVID positive, and we've already heard it from other players who got COVID positive, who were COVID positive in the past, like Jason Tatum just spoke up today.
Yes.
Talked about him being, a little gassed from time to time, and he felt that it was an effect of the COVID virus. So I think, and Seth Curry, we talked about him in past episodes, and we mentioned that, something COVID might have done is not get the players a little more gassed than usual when they get back to playing. So I think
some respiratory issues now, some breathing problems. So they get tired easily. So those are things we have to consider.
So let's hope it's not LaMarcus Aldridge who is positive. And I think I'm confident it's very unlikely that he'll be positive because he haven't played in a while. So hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. All right. So moving on to injuries. D'Angelo Russell out 4 to 6 weeks. We've been worrying about D'Angelo already for the past few episodes of the Quickie. Now I think this confirms our worry that we should really be worried about him. Is he a drop now? He hasn't been performing well even when he was playing.
Well, I dropped him in our league, the Fantasy Benchwarmer Superstars League. But in that league, just for clarification, we have 2 IL spots. I have both IL spots occupied. Then I have D'Angelo Russell, and then Mitch Robinson, I think, is one, and then the other one is Evan Fournier. I was thinking of actually choosing between Russell and Fournier, but because of this 4 to 6 week thing, I just dropped Russell already. And plus the fact that I'm already at the bottom of that league, so it's for me at this point there's nothing to lose. Yeah. It's very, very doubtful I'm gonna make the playoffs. So I just want to compete every week, at least make it respectable. So I dropped him.
But
I would not suggest. I would not suggest you to do it if you're fighting for position and just throw a player like D'Angelo Russell. But just remember that Minnesota will not be incentivized to play him. Yeah. So 6 weeks is week 15. And then there will be back-to-backs. He'll not be playing. And then there will be lots of rests after that. So basically a lost season, in my opinion.
They need to lose.
And they need to lose.
So if you want to drop, be an incentive.
If you want to drop, maybe not now. Maybe you try to trade first. That's my suggestion. Okay,
given that, I'm sure after hearing that there's no incentive for Minnesota to win. The next question would be, how about Karl Anthony Towns? If you are an owner of Karl Anthony Towns, is he someone you should be worried about in the long run?
Yes, of course. If we're worried about Vucevic, then we should be worried about Karl Anthony Towns more. Mm-hmm. First off, he's not healthy. Came from COVID, right? I mean, as we talked about, there's possible long-term implications to that. And then his mind is really not yet there. He's not 100% mentally ready to play. So right now he's chugging along, trying to just suck it up and play. But when time comes, they really need him to rest, or they want him to rest for them to lose, they will do it. Plus, they have already played without him for so long. So there's no incentive for them to play him. So for me, if we're worried about Vucevic, then we should be more worried about Karl Anthony Towns. Okay, so but again, timing is key.
What timing should we be looking at? Because I own Cat in 3 leagues. And I own.
Okay.
This is how bad my teams are in the recent weeks. So I own Cat in 3 leagues. I own Anthony Davis in 2 leagues. So that's practically half of the league. Wherein my first pick is a worrying player. So what to do if you're a Cat owner? Should you
right now?
What sign?
What did he
would
do?
You want?
What did he do a while ago? He did fine.
He did well. I think he did a double. Let me check. He did a double today. I think he had 11 rebounds, and let me see. Against the Lakers, he had. Oh no, he just had 15. It's different.
No, it's like
he
this.
Just had 15, 6, and 4.
Although it's a bad matchup, but anyway, I think Karl Anthony Towns will get his rhythm back eventually. And when he gets those 30 points, 15 rebounds, and maybe 3 blocks, 4 blocks, those kinds of games, then his value would be better. And then when is in that role, is in that groove, he's in that role already, then you trade him. Right now, he's not performing at the cat level yet. And then we're talking about these worries. So what value will you get from him? Maybe it's going to be harder for the opposing manager to agree.
Yeah.
So I think you wait, let him play more games. He's not going to be shut down before the All-Star week anyway. That's still 3 weeks away, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of time. You just have to be patient. Just find the right. When he's in our FBW idol already, then there he's getting his groove already. Okay, so wait for it.
But I think at this point, if you're a cat owner, you should already scout some players who you would want in return.
Yes. That's correct.
So that you won't, because it might be a quick turnaround. You might get a good game and then get another bad game, and before the other manager approves or accepts the trade, he might lose a little value already. So I think you should scout around who the players you want in exchange for a cat. And wait for the right time.
Last point. I think you have to look. Following up on that statement, there's very few players that you would be able to get the same value as Cat because AD is injured, right? Yeah. So Joker, I don't think will be available no matter what.
Embiid, I doubt they won't be available.
Yeah, those guys won't be available.
I don't think Embiid there's a slight chance you could get Embiid. Maybe for the reason that he isn't healthy yet at this point. So if that good game comes along in early, you might be able to, try.
My point is, maybe if you want someone safer, it's hard to find a player like that because the others like Embiid, Vucevic, they have their own concerns. So Jeremy's correct. Try to really go through the list one by one and see who you could get that maybe would approximate his value and would be more safe going forward.
One player I always like when we talk about first round value players is Kawhi. For the reason that he still has this stigma of being rested, not playing back-to-backs, but he has been playing back-to-backs. He recently rested just because of an injury, but it's a normal situation for any players. But again, some managers are really not too high on him because of his previous situations. So I think that's one player I really try to target when it comes to trading a first round value player.
Yeah, correct. Kawhi or LeBron actually is another player. And another player I'm looking at is Giannis. If the owner of Giannis is not a punt free throw team build, and then Giannis is killing their free throws, then that is a good trade to target, and then just adjust your team maybe with the free throws.
If you look into maybe second 9 players who are in the middle tier or in the next level, second level players, you might be looking at Tatum. You might be looking at Paul George. If the Kawhi or the Giannis situation doesn't pan out, you can look into those players as well, and maybe a Jimmy Butler. Those types of players can, Jimmy Butler +1 for a Cat +1 deal would make sense. So just prepare these situations or these scenarios, just so when you are ready to trade Cat, you have options. All right. So moving on to other injured players, Kyle Lowry, who sprained his ankle today.
To make it quick, I think it's a sore ankle sprain, a little sprain, maybe day to day. But the key thing here is OG Anunoby OG came back. Came back now. Lowry goes out. It's deja vu. Norm Powell just continues to go on with starting. Somebody just gets injured. New player gets injured. Someone comes back. Someone gets injured. So just continue playing Norm Powell. That's the only point we want to make.
And this is what we want for a Norman Powell, because he might carry this on even if the Toronto team is healthy.
Yes.
So
correct.
keep on playing him. All right, Cole Anthony. I was just about to trade for Cole Anthony when I saw the news, so I don't think so I canceled it. Good thing the
Bummer.
man didn't accept.
Yeah, bummer for Cole Anthony.
So he will be
All-Star
out.
week.
Yeah, so that's about 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
out.
3 weeks.
He is not a top level player, but he is a contributing player in.
No, he's a drop.
I mean, he has been contributing before he got injured.
Yeah. But
I'm
right
sure
now he's a drop.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of the managers were holding on to him, so you could probably just drop him now. If you
don't have IL.
Yeah, but if I've seen managers dropping Evan Fournier, so if you're dropping Evan Fournier, I think you should be dropping Cole Anthony.
Dropping Cole Anthony. Yes,
all
correct.
Right. All right, so big risers for today. So we've with the recent Anthony Davis news, we were speculating who would be the beneficiary. We thought it was Kyle Kuzma, but apparently Dennis Schroeder, we forgot about Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. They benefited from Anthony Davis' absence.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I realize that Dennis Schroeder is actually the biggest beneficiary of the injury, because outside of LeBron has to rest, right?
Yeah.
Look at the lineup. When LeBron rests, who will create? There's no Rondo. There's no anybody.
This is the role we envisioned for Dennis Schroeder when we drafted him, right?
Yes, correct. So Schroeder, he had a big game today, and I think going forward you can expect more consistent big games from him.
All right, and of course Montrezl Harrell be. Did he start? Did Montrezl Harrell start?
No, Montrezl Harrell did not start. Right. Still off the bench, but I think Harrell should be given more minutes off the bench. The pick and roll will be part of their offensive plays now that Anthony Davis is out. So it's basically Schroeder and Harrell in the second five, I think, creating more offense. So those two, they have a new lease in life because of this.
Yeah,
because of this injury.
Yep. All right. So another big riser we've talked about the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I think this player is worth mentioning. And this would probably be, with all the tanking talks about Minnesota, I think this player would be the least affected, or will probably be the major beneficiary of a tanking Minnesota Timberwolves. And I'm talking about Anthony Edwards.
And he's been hot. He's been good. I mean, today the Lakers, it was not a good matchup for him, but he had 28 points, making 3-pointers in front of LeBron. He's shooting 45% and then around 78% free throw wise. That's not bad already for him. So, as we said, if they tank, it's his team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a number one pick. They're gonna give him all the chances. If they don't tank, he's starting anyway. And then no D'Angelo Russell anyway for 6 weeks. So this is very, very, very good news for him. Big bump up for Anthony Edwards.
Well, since we are on the Minnesota topic already, another player who has started in the past 2 games, Jared Vanderbilt, and a lot of managers are really high on Jared Vanderbilt.
You should pick up Jared Vanderbilt, in my opinion. Not in 12-team leagues, maybe 14-team leagues. Starting from 14-team leagues, he should be owned. And
just realized that in one of the leagues he wasn't picked up yet. I might be able to catch that Vanderbilt train.
But just expect that he's gonna be very inconsistent. There will be games like a while ago, he only had 2 points and 6 rebounds until the fourth quarter. But he was able to do 7 rebounds in the last 5 minutes, I think. So just expect that he will have games where he'll just get 3 points, 5 rebounds, something like that. But if he gives you 2 steals, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 2 block, or 2 blocks, 3 blocks, that's the value there, right? So that's where you can get the value.
Jared Vanderbilt, pick him up already. Next big riser for today, Zion Williamson. He's been quite good the past few games.
Zion Williamson has been red hot, super hot the past few games, and I think, as I said, I do not believe that his value will go any higher than this. So if you can move on by selling high, I think you should do that. This is the highest value wise he will get. So I think you should explore trade options already for Zion Williamson. My opinion.
All right, so sell high on Zion. All right, waiver specials. These are players who are rostered in probably less than half or maybe less than 20% of the whole Yahoo leagues. Facundo Campazzo of the Denver Nuggets.
Facu was really good. Although, just for context, they did not have Monte Morris. Who else? Gary Harris, Will Barton were all out. So they were down to 9 men. So Facundo got 40 minutes. So that's something to monitor. Tomorrow, back-to-back, I think he's gonna get same. I don't think Monte Morris will play, but if he doesn't play, then fire up those Facu stocks. I love the name.
But they are, and also they are against Washington, so we know the defense there in Washington.
Yes.
Gonna be something that the Denver Nuggets would probably be happy about. All right.
And this guy is not a typical rookie. He's a veteran already. And watch him. It's a joy to watch. The passes, the no-look pass. He's great.
He's not a young player. He's not a young player. So if you're talking about a rookie who is maybe in their teens or maybe in their early 20s, he is not that guy.
He's perfect, very perfect partner for Nikola Jokic. Their games are so good together. That's why I'm really high on this guy. Problem is they are very deep, but now they're not. So he's gonna get his chances.
All right, Theo Maledon. We've forgotten about this guy already. One of the OKC Goldmine players, Theo Maledon, has been forgotten because he was under COVID protocols. Now he is back,
and you should pick him up. Remember,
he did play as well today.
Yeah. Yes.
So that means you still have a chance to get him.
You should get him in 14-team leagues. Okay.
Right.
Beware of George Hill, but I think that's still a couple of weeks away. So as long as Hill is out, even if SGA comes back, I think Maledon would have a little value for 14-team and above. Mm-hmm. For 12-team, maybe not for 12-team. But 14-team, I think he's okay. He's okay.
So do you get Maledon, Campazzo, or Quickley?
I get Maledon. I get Maledon number 1, and then I get Quickley number 2. Because Campazzo, if Campazzo will get 30 minutes a game, I'll get Campazzo. But we know this is short term only.
Right.
This is an injury play only. So if for streaming, I get Campazzo. Pero for longer value, I'll get Quickley. I got Maledon first, then Quickley.
Okay. Do you get Maledon over Derrick Rose?
Maledon over Derrick Rose. Maybe it's similar for me, but
all right.
I'd like to try Maledon. I'd like to try Maledon over Rose.
Of course, Maledon would be the more exciting choice than the old reliable Derrick Rose. All right, worried players. These are players who we are worried about or trending down because of their performances. And top of the list is Michael Porter Jr., who has been really disappointing.
Terrible. 9 players in Denver. He gets 0 points. 0. Not even 1 point.
Can you feel the frustration of Commissioner Eric?
It's not frustration, it's embarrassment. Because I keep on telling you guys to pick him up, buy low. And he's doing, I said, this is the worst. And then he gets 8 points. This is the worst. And he gets 5 points. Now I said, no, tomorrow 9 players is gonna explode. Then he gets 0 points. 0.
Okay, so I think now's the perfect time to say this is the worst.
It's not gonna get any worse already. This is really the worst. I'm confident to say this is the worst.
If tomorrow against Washington,
he gets 0.
He gets 0, then you might.
I'm gonna drop him.
Rethink your ownership of Michael Porter Jr. But again, this guy has a lot of upside. He has a lot of potential. I'm not sure what's wrong. Maybe it's COVID still, but it's been a while since he was.
But it's possible. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Again, obviously he is not a drop player with the upside and the potential. But
my advice is after listening to this pod, maybe you can go and look at who owns Michael Porter Jr. and then offer a really low ball off.
Yeah.
That owner should really be frustrated by this time and may just accept it. So you just try it.
All right. So another player we are worried about. This one is a top tier player, Jason Tatum. Again,
I think we discussed it.
Yeah, we discussed it in passing because of some COVID related issues or after effects. He hasn't been performing like we expected, but I'm sure he will get there sooner.
Well, I hope it's not a long-term COVID thing. We read about those things, so I hope it's not that. And he's eventually gonna get better. I hope by All-Star break he's gonna get into the rhythm. But knowing this fact will cap his floor a little bit. His floor will go down. He could really sink more than what I expected before. So we'll have to be patient with Jason Tatum. More patient with Jason Tatum.
Yeah. All right. And lastly, Brook Lopez. Well, we started off the year worried about Brook Lopez. He had a good stretch. Now he is back to being a player we are worried about.
But for you, JJT, who do you want more, Bertans or Lopez for the rest of the season? Because I said my piece already in our quickie today, so maybe you can give us your take on that. Bertans or Lopez for the rest of the season?
That's a great question because now you got me thinking. I like Lopez a bit because of the blocks.
Okay.
But if I am someone who really likes the freeze more, I'll go with Bertans. And if I'm not really particular with the blocks, I'll probably go with Bertans. If I like the blocks, I have a team who can compete in the blocks category, then I'd probably pick Lopez. But again, I've had him for some of the leagues and he hasn't been really as consistent as I expect him to be, but I got used to it. So I think at this point, I got so used to it, I never really focus too much on his production. As long as he gives me maybe a block or a couple of threes a game, that's good. I lowered my expectations already on Brook Lopez.
I said I might like Bertans more a little right now because I think there's more upside potential for Bertans. I know there's no blocks, but I think he's gonna give you more 3-pointers.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why I said I may like Bertans more. But I know Brook Lopez will have good stretches. He will have good stretches coming up. But if that happens, just sell high.
In his position in Milwaukee is safe. He's the starting center.
Yeah.
I don't think Bobby Portis would overtake him anytime. So I think he is safe to own. All right.
I just add another player, Mikal Bridges. I know he didn't play well again, and I've seen a lot of posts that people are just so frustrated and want to drop him. Please don't. That's it. No, do
be
not.
Patient, be patient. Just trade them to me if you are in the same league. Trade them to me. I'll get your Mikal Bridges for someone I want to drop. Right? So,
he's gonna be better.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hope you like this English version of the Daily Fantasy Quickie. It's the first time we tried to do this, and hopefully it was also helpful for you guys. And again, as always, we'll see you again tomorrow for another Daily Fantasy Quickie. Bye, guys.